What's good, YouTube fam? It's your boy Tony, aka the Senator of Chaos and Controversy, and I wanted to piggyback off of a couple of points that I made in my last video, talking about the my thoughts on the LGBTQ community and stuff like that. Um, I want to talk about in reference to the Catch-22 scenarios and unrealistic expectations, okay? Or should I say unreasonable expectations? I was watching the video, and I seen this video before, some time ago, and it was with Tyrese. I believe it was Tyrese, and he was on a show or a panel, and there was a trans woman that was there. He didn't know that she was trans until she told him that um, she was trans, and she tried to kiss him. I want to say it was Tyrese, but anyway, he said no, and immediately he was labeled as being a homophobe. Okay, now to get to the point of the matter, and I'm gonna make another comparison parallel to this point right here. And this ain't gonna be a long video, it's just something that was on my mind. You can't force somebody to conform or be bullied, so to speak, under a certain type of pressure based on a outlook, depending on how that person reacts or how it's perceived based on whether they agree or disagree to interact with another party. If somebody is heterosexual or straight, you can't expect them to just adjust just to appease you. As I've heard many people within the gay community say, no, I'm a lesbian, I don't date men, or I'm a gay man and I don't mess with women. Okay, it's respectable. You can respect that and understand their position. But on the flip side of the coin is if a straight person was put in a position, it's oh you're this or you're that, this, that, and everything else. No. If you're heterosexual and your preference is a man liking a woman and a woman liking a man, why can't that just be just over and done with? Because without a man and a woman, people who are of the gay community wouldn't exist, because it takes the two to get together to create life. Am I right? Okay. Now, the other comparison that I want to make, because I've seen this with my own eyes and experienced it, whereas I've heard some people, and it's going to get interesting once I, put this on the table. Whereas you have a lot of black people that when I say something about I can't really jive with the people that are so pro-black because there's some contradiction to their beliefs and stuff, that they'll sit there and say how they don't like white people or they're skeptical of white people, this, that, and everything else. And there's validation in certain areas where I could say I, understand. But then there's certain circumstances and scenarios that I see played out where if it was a white girl that said I don't date black men and stuff, oh, she's racist. People have preferences. Just like there's black people who don't date white people, but they're not called racist. It's their preference. It's what they choose. They choose to date within their own race and stay within their own race. There's nothing wrong with that. If people choose to do otherwise, okay, then hey, to each his own. But you can't put somebody in a position to sit there and say, oh, if they don't go along with the program, oh, this is how you're going to be ostracized. This is what you're going to be labeled as. And how is that fair? But then on the flip side of the coin, then if somebody do decide to say, okay, I'm gonna date outside my race, then here come the criticism behind that. Oh, you don't like your black queens and this, that, and everything else, or you don't respect your black kings and stuff. How you gonna go with this snow bunny, or how you gonna go with this white man? He ain't, this, that, and everything else. But if you get rejected by a person who's white, oh, then they're racist. How does that make sense? And then here come all the nonsense and the rhetoric behind when children come out of the, I'm gonna say the equation, okay? And then there's things to be said about that, how the children is raised, and how they try to fit into society, and their perspective, and how they're kind of, how should I say, shunned, so to speak, in certain circumstances and certain situations. Not all the time, because I'm the example of I didn't really deal with the nonsense from both sides. I mean, as far as dating goes, yeah, there's like some women that had took up an issue with me being mixed. They didn't realize that I was raised by an all-black family who adopted me and stuff, but that shouldn't have mattered at the time that I looked at it for what it was worth. But I was young back then, so it was whatever. Um, but you can't put the pressure on somebody to do what is expected based on your standards with repercussions if they don't go along just to get along. When there's choices in the matter, and when people say, you know what, you shouldn't be forced to do this or you shouldn't be forced to do that. It should be up to the person to be able to have options, the choice, to be in control of their own decision making without any guilt. Another example, I think someone questioned Denzel Washington on why he never really, or you didn't see him really kiss any of his white, how should I say, counterparts as far as actors go or actresses go. And there was a discussion based on that. And he gave his thoughts on the situation. He's married to a black woman. And yes, their marriage was a little rocky at times. His son spoke on it, who's also an actor. But again, everybody is entitled to what how should I say is left up to them to be satisfied with, not to try to please everyone else, because we have this life that is focused around having one shot, and that's all we get. So when it comes to people living their life, they live their life according to how they see fit, not by what others will accept or say that this is how you need to live your life or else. Because if you're not doing that to other people, what gives them the right to do that to you? And then it all comes down to just the bottom line of just, I respect you as a person, as an individual, and how you live your life is how you choose to live your life. You can't make me conform to your choices, because your life is your life and my life is mine. That's it. But some people have a hard time accepting that. And then they want to talk about what's fair and what's not fair. But how can you put that into your narrative when you're just contradicting yourself at the same time? I don't know. It was just a thought that I had when I was doing the video and I was at work, just kind of going over the video, analyzing it, seeing where I could critique my commentary and stuff like that. And I had some decent feedback. Lisa D had gave me a novel to read and stuff, but it was a good read. And another thing that I hate when the conclusion is drawn is that just because a person has their own, how should I say, standards or beliefs or preferences doesn't make them racist, doesn't make them homophobe, doesn't make them anti this or anti that. Some people have certain traditions that they are just brought up with, and they prefer to live within those traditions. And you can't sit there and say that they're this and that. If they treat you with kindness, if they respect you, if they haven't brought harm to you, if they haven't disrespected you by calling you any names or whatever the case may be, brought harm to you in any way, shape, form, or fashion, then let them people be. Because if they're not doing that to you, so, but that's all I got for tonight. I had to make it short. I am tired. I'm exhausted. I'm about to watch a movie, lay down, and take my ass to sleep. But until next time, until next video, let me know what you think. Leave a comment in the comment section. Please hit that like button and share this video if you think it's worthy of sharing. And you know how I do. Until next time, until next video, peace.